Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with Patria Potestas, the unseen authority of the Father's shadow in ancient Rome. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Let the noise of today fall away as we step back, not just hours or years, but centuries, into the vast theater of crime and punishment in ancient Rome. If you genuinely like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. Riso istinct antes is the Pagithiu Oldenthus system, central to Roman family structure, delineated the extensive powers held by the male head of the household. Patria Potestas granted fathers the authority over their children, extending to life, death, and even marriage. This legal framework established a profound hierarchy that permeated societal norms and behaviors. Historically, this authority can be traced back to the early days of the Roman Republic, where familial loyalty and lineage were paramount. The Roman father, known as the pater familias, was not merely a provider. He embodied the family's identity and continuity. This position was paramount in maintaining the integrity of the household, ensuring that property and status remained within the family line. In practice, the father's control extended beyond his immediate kin, encompassing all individuals living under his roof, including slaves. This absolute authority rendered the paterfamilias an essential figure within both public and private spheres, reinforcing societal expectations of masculinity and power. Over time, the implications of Patria Potestas evolved, adapting to the changing landscape of Roman society. The gradual introduction of legal rights for women and children began to challenge the rigid framework of paternal authority. The persistence of this concept, however, can still be traced in modern legal systems, reflecting the enduring influence of ancient Roman principles on contemporary familial structures. The concept of authority in ancient Rome extended beyond the family unit, permeating various aspects of societal life. It was a foundational element of Roman governance, shaping the political landscape and influencing social hierarchies. The figure of the pater familias, or head of the household, exemplified the concentration of power within a single individual. This authority was not merely personal, but reflected a broader societal endorsement of hierarchy and control. In public life, these structures manifested in the political arena. The Senate, composed of the elite, exercised considerable influence over legislative matters, embodying the same principles of authority observed within family dynamics. Decisions made by this governing body could affect the livelihoods of countless citizens, often with little regard for individual circumstances. Loyalty to authority figures was paramount, fostering a sense of unity among the populace, albeit often at the expense of personal freedoms. Military power also illustrated the pervasive nature of authority. Generals wielded significant control over their legions, commanding respect through discipline and strategy. The loyalty of soldiers to their leaders mirrored familial bonds, further entrenching the authority dynamic within society. Culturally, these ideas permeated literature and philosophy, where discussions on power, duty, and responsibility were common. The interplay of individual agency and collective loyalty formed the bedrock of Roman identity, shaping interactions and societal expectations in profound ways. The father emerged as a central figure within Roman families, wielding considerable authority over every aspect of family life. This influence known as Patria Potestas, entailed a father's legal rights over his children, which included decisions regarding marriage, education, and even life and death. Such power was both a privilege and a responsibility, as it dictated the family's social standing and cohesion. In this context, the father's role extended beyond mere governance. He served as a moral guide, instilling values and expectations that would shape the character of his children. The father's decisions were often viewed as reflections of familial honor, impacting not only the immediate household, but also the wider community. Sons were groomed to carry on the family name, while daughters were prepared for strategic marriages that would enhance family alliances. This hierarchical structure created a sense of stability and continuity, crucial for the survival of Roman lineage. The rituals surrounding a father's authority, including the naming of children and the rite of passage into adulthood, underscored his pivotal position as the embodiment of familial rights and duties. The father's presence loomed large, casting a long shadow over the dynamics of Roman domestic life. Within this framework, loyalty and respect towards the father became virtues that were deeply ingrained in the fabric of society. This evolution of Patria Potestas unfolded gradually, beginning in the early centuries of Rome. Initially, the authority of the father was absolute, encompassing not only the family but also the household. The power wielded by the paterfamilias extended to decisions regarding marriage, property, and even life and death. This centrality of paternal control reinforced a rigid societal structure where the father's will shaped the destiny of the family unit. As Rome transitioned from a republic to an empire, the nuances of this authority began to evolve. Legal reforms emerged, and the rights of individuals, particularly women and children, started to shift. The influence of Hellenistic philosophies introduced new ideas about personal autonomy and the role of the family in society. This period marked a gradual redefinition of relationships within the household, while still maintaining the father's overarching authority. The consolidation of power under emperors also played a role in this dynamic. The state increasingly encroached upon familial domains, asserting its own influence over family affairs. Thus, while the father's authority remained a cornerstone of social order, its expression became more complex as the state sought to regulate and control familial structures. This interplay between paternal authority and the evolving political landscape illustrates a complex historical narrative, revealing the transformations of power within the private sphere against the backdrop of a changing Rome. The legal framework surrounding Patria Potestas in Roman law served as a foundation for the intricate dynamics of familial authority. It established a system whereby the father held absolute legal power over his children and household. This power extended to decisions concerning marriage, property, and even life and death. Under this framework, the father's role was not merely one of oversight, but rather an embodiment of ultimate decision-making authority. Children born within the confines of this legal structure were considered to be under the complete control of their father until he chose to release them from this bond, often through formal declaration. The implications of this authority were far-reaching, shaping not only domestic life but also influencing broader societal norms. The state's role in affirming and enforcing these rights provided a legal backbone to the paternal position, while also introducing layers of regulation that affected family dynamics. The interactions between the Patria Potestas and other aspects of Roman law, such as adoption and guardianship, further complicated the authority of the father. Adoption practices, for instance, allowed for the transfer of power, creating new familial structures and altering the traditional views of lineage. This legal landscape reflected a society in which authority was both respected and challenged, creating an evolving narrative of power and responsibility within the ancient world. The responsibilities of the paterfamilias extended beyond mere authority, embodying a delicate balancing act between control and care. This figure served as the head of the household, tasked with ensuring the welfare and stability of the family unit. The expectation was to provide not only financial support, but also moral guidance, shaping the values and beliefs of subsequent generations. In this role, the paterfamilias maintained the family's honor and reputation within the community. It was essential for this figure to manage relationships, both within the household and with outside entities. Familial alliances often played a crucial role in political and social maneuvering, highlighting the strategic importance of this responsibility. Discipline also fell under the purview of the paterfamilias, who held the authority to enforce rules and expectations. The balance between discipline and affection was a constant negotiation, as harshness could lead to rebellion while leniency risked chaos. This dynamic created an environment steeped in both love and fear, a dichotomy that shaped familial interactions. Legal obligations further complicated this role, as the paterfamilias was accountable for the actions of all household members. This responsibility demanded vigilant oversight, a commitment that required not only authority but also wisdom to navigate the complexities of relationships and societal expectations, all while maintaining the family's legacy. Patria Potestas established a fundamental framework within Roman society, delineating the authority of the father over his children and the household. This dominance extended beyond mere governance. It encompassed legal rights, economic control, and the shaping of identity within the family unit. It dictated not only the upbringing of children, but also their marriage prospects and property rights, establishing a hierarchy that bolstered the family's influence in the broader community. Within this structure, the father served as the ultimate arbiter of familial decisions, wielding power that shaped the destinies of all under his care. The implications of this authority resonated throughout society, solidifying the patriarch's role as a cornerstone of stability. Relationships were often characterized by a complex interplay of obedience and expectation, where loyalty to the paterfamilias was paramount. These dynamics were mirrored in the larger context of Roman governance, reflecting a societal preference for hierarchy that permeated both political and familial realms. The influence of Patria Potestas extended to the moral fabric of the state, reinforcing the idea that the strength of Rome was rooted in the integrity of its familial structures. Consequently, the legacy of the father was not merely a personal affair, but a societal obligation, intertwining family lineage with civic duty and communal identity in ancient Rome. The intersection of religion and Patria Potestas reveals a profound layer of divine justification within the Roman cultural framework. Religious beliefs not only reinforced patriarchal authority, but also positioned the father as a conduit of divine will. Rituals and ceremonies underscored this role, with the paterfamilias often presiding over household rites, invoking the favor of the gods for his family's prosperity and protection. This connection to the divine established a hierarchy that justified the father's authoritative position. The family's well-being was seen as a reflection of his piety and moral standing. In this context, he was not merely a ruler, but also a priest, tasked with maintaining the sacred relationship between the household and the spiritual realm. This dual role enforced a sense of accountability, where the father's actions carried implications that extended beyond everyday governance. The reverence for ancestors further solidified this authority. The veneration of household gods, known as lares and penates, was integral to preserving familial legacy. Each act of devotion served as a reminder of the father's role in securing not only his lineage, but also the favor of divine entities. Thus, the intertwining of religious practice with familial governance created a framework where the father's authority was divinely sanctioned, strengthening the bonds of both family and society in ancient Rome. The father's authority extended into all aspects of family life, shaping the experiences of women within this patriarchal structure. Women, while often relegated to subordinate roles, exercised agency in nuanced ways. Their influence manifested through the management of household resources and social networks. In this domain, their decisions could significantly impact familial reputation and standing within the community. Limitations were ever present, dictated by the stringent norms of a society that prized male lineage and dominance. Women remained under the guardianship of their fathers or husbands. With limited legal rights, their movements and choices were frequently constrained, reflecting the pervasive oversight of male authority. Marriage often marked a transition that further diminished their autonomy, as they were expected to align with the interests of their husband's family, thus reinforcing the established power dynamics. Despite these constraints, women in ancient Rome found means to navigate their environment. They engaged in religious rites, held positions as priestesses, and occasionally wielded influence in public life through familial connections. Such roles provided avenues for agency, allowing for subtle forms of resistance against the limitations imposed upon them. This complex interplay between power and agency highlights the resilience of women in a society dominated by Patria Potestas, illuminating both their constrained existence and the ways in which they carved out their own paths. The dynamics of power in ancient Rome were firmly anchored in the structures of the family unit, where the pater familias wielded ultimate authority. This figure, often a father or eldest male, presided over all familial matters, exercising control over property and legal rights. The influence of the pater familias extended into the public domain, reflecting societal norms that celebrated patriarchal governance. It was within this framework that the role of the mater familias emerged, navigating the complexities of her position with astuteness. While limited in formal power, the mater familias played a crucial role in maintaining household stability and managing domestic affairs. This authority, though not legally recognized, was vital for sustaining the family unit's social and economic health. Through her management of resources and relationships, she often became an indispensable figure in ensuring the family's prosperity. Expectations placed on the mater familias included the education of children and the preservation of family traditions, tasks that required both resilience and ingenuity. Instances of women exerting influence through their roles as mothers or wives illustrate their ability to impact social structures indirectly. This unseen authority, while overshadowed by the overt dominion of the paterfamilias, created a nuanced power dynamic that defined Roman society. The interaction between these two figures shaped the very fabric of familial and societal relationships, creating a lasting legacy that continues to be examined in contemporary discourse. The implications of Patria Potestas extended profoundly into the realm of Roman citizenship. This authority, wielded primarily by the father, dictated not only familial structure, but also the social standing of individuals within the broader community. Sons and daughters born under this authority were intricately tied to their father's status, influencing their eligibility for citizenship and the accompanying rights and responsibilities. The father's decisions could determine the fate of a child's legal identity, as citizenship in ancient Rome was a coveted status, imbued with privileges such as the right to vote, hold public office, and engage in legal matters. It effectively created a hierarchy where the father's standing could elevate or diminish the family's societal position. In the event of a father's death, the continuity of this authority often dictated the transition of power to the eldest son, ensuring that the family maintained its influence within the community. The legal framework surrounding inheritance further emphasized this dynamic, as property and wealth were typically passed down through the male line, reinforcing the patriarchal system. This dynamic extended beyond individual households, shaping the governance of the Roman state itself. The implications of Patria Potestas thus reverberated through various layers of society, intertwining personal authority with civic identity and illustrating the complexities of ancient Roman social structures. Birthright and legitimacy served as crucial pillars under the doctrine of Patria Potestas, determining the distribution of wealth and status within Roman society. This principle dictated that a father's authority extended to his children, shaping their rights to inheritance and societal position. In this context, the father's recognition of offspring played a pivotal role in establishing legitimacy, which directly influenced access to familial resources. A child born within the bounds of marriage was assured of their place in the hierarchy, benefiting from the father's estate under the auspices of his power. Conversely, those born outside of wedlock found themselves in a precarious position, often excluded from inheritance rights. Such disparities highlighted the harsh realities surrounding social status, where kinship and legitimacy dictated one's fortunes. Additionally, the father's discretion in matters of inheritance reinforced the weight of Patria Potestas. He could decide not only which offspring received portions of his estate, but also the extent of those portions. This authority contributed to the consolidation of family wealth, impacting relationships between families and shaping alliances through strategic marriages. The entrenchment of these practices solidified the notion of family legacy, influencing subsequent generations. This dynamic interplay between authority and inheritance thus left indelible marks on the socio-economic landscape of ancient Rome. The institution of slavery interwove with the principles of Patria Potestas, reinforcing the authority of the male head of the household. This system allowed a father to exert absolute control over not just his children, but also over enslaved individuals who occupied spaces within these domestic realms. Enslaved people, viewed as property, lacked autonomy and rights, further consolidating the power dynamics that characterized Roman familial structures. Within this framework, the father's influence extended to all aspects of life, determining the fates of both freeborn and enslaved individuals. The labor provided by enslaved people was essential for economic stability, contributing to agricultural production, mining, and domestic services. Their contributions, while often overlooked, underpinned the wealth and status of many Roman households. This arrangement created a layered society where social mobility for freeborn citizens often relied on the exploitation of enslaved labor. The father's authority manifested in the ability to sell or transfer enslaved individuals, illustrating the stark realities of ownership and dehumanization. The moral implications of such authority were often shadowed by economic necessity, embedding complex ethical considerations within the cultural fabric. In this way, the legacy of Patria Potestas and slavery remains significant, shaping relationships, economic systems, and these dynamics. The paterfamilias, as the head of the household, assumed a crucial role in the education and upbringing of children. This responsibility extended beyond mere instruction. It encompassed the moral and ethical development of the next generation. The emphasis on virtue and civic duty formed the cornerstone of a child's education, reflecting the values held within the family unit. Discipline was not only a means of ensuring obedience, but also a fundamental aspect of character formation. The authority wielded by the paterfamilias permitted him to dictate the course of education, often relying on the guidance of tutors or engaging in direct instruction. Knowledge imparted within these walls included literacy, mathematics, and the arts, equipping children for their future roles in society. The education of daughters, while often limited in scope, focused primarily on domestic skills and moral instruction. This diffusion of knowledge and values served to reinforce the hierarchical structure of Roman society. The paterfamilias ensured that each child understood their place and responsibilities, fostering a sense of duty that would carry into adulthood. In these educational frameworks, one can discern the intricate interplay between authority and societal expectations, illustrating how deeply entrenched systems of power influenced personal development and communal identity. Through such mechanisms, the legacy of Patria Potestas continued to resonate across generations. Marriage within the framework of Patria Potestas was a pivotal institution, intricately linked to legal implications and social norms. The binding contracts formed between families were not merely personal unions. They served as extensions of authority. The father's control over family members extended into the marital domain, influencing the choices made by sons and daughters alike. In this context, marriages were often arranged with the primary focus on enhancing familial power and wealth. Women, in this societal structure, navigated a complex web of expectations. Their roles were predominantly defined by the patriarchal system, and they frequently remained under the auspices of their fathers even after marriage. Upon joining a new family, a woman did not gain autonomy. Rather, she transferred her loyalty and duties to her husband, perpetuating the cycle of control. This arrangement ensured that the father's authority remained intact, as the household dynamics shifted yet continued to reflect the broader societal norms. Legal frameworks facilitated this arrangement by codifying the rights of fathers and husbands, while simultaneously limiting the agency of wives. The reverberations of such practices stretched beyond individual families, reinforcing the notion that social order was maintained through the strict adherence to Patria Potestas. Consequently, the implications of marriage extended far beyond personal relationships, shaping the very fabric of Roman society. The extended family played a crucial role in bolstering the authority of the paterfamilias. This complex network included not only immediate relatives, but also servile members and freedmen, all contributing to the household's stability and prosperity. Each member had defined responsibilities, aligning with the overarching power structure, which placed the father at its helm, an appalling authority as the family wealth, of the overarching power structure, which placed the father at its helm, on nothings. These familial connections provided emotional and practical support, reinforcing the paterfamilias' decisions and actions. Loyalty and duty were ingrained, ensuring that the household operated cohesively. Such unity was essential in maintaining the family's honor and reputation within the broader community. In economic terms, this network allowed for the pooling of resources. The labor of extended family members, including women and children, was vital for agricultural endeavors and artisanal ventures. The success of these enterprises directly reflected on the pater familias, enhancing his standing and influence socially. Gatherings within this extended structure were opportunities for reinforcing bonds and alliances. Rituals, celebrations, and shared responsibilities fostered a sense of belonging and commitment. The collective identity of the family was paramount, often overshadowing individual desires. Through these intricate relationships, the authority of the pater familias was both nurtured and challenged, revealing the complexities of power dynamics within Roman households. The unseen authority, therefore, resonated throughout the family, shaping their collective destiny. These rites, intricately woven into the fabric of Roman society, placed children under the absolute control of their male guardians. Legally, a child was considered the property of the father, lacking autonomy in personal matters. Decisions regarding marriage, education, and even the inheritance of property rested solely in the hands of this paternal figure. The father exercised an undeniable influence, determining the course of a child's life from birth until legal adulthood. Infants often faced the chilling prospect of abandonment, as fathers possessed the right to decide whether to accept or reject a newborn. This authority extended to matters of discipline, where the father's decisions were final and unquestionable. The child's welfare, while a concern, was education's of also concern, although essential, was primarily a tool for the furtherance of familial honor and legacy, rather than individual development. Sons were groomed to inherit the family name and fortune, while daughters were often prepared for advantageous marriages, their prospects dictated by the father's ambitions. Upon reaching maturity, a son would eventually attain the status of a citizen, yet still remained under the shadow of paternal authority until full emancipation. This transition mirrored the gradual shift in ownership, yet the echoes of that unseen authority remained, even in the lives of those who sought independence. The concept of emancipation emerged as a pivotal moment in the evolution of familial authority within ancient Rome. Individuals, particularly sons, sought liberation from the constraints imposed by Patria Potestas, a system that granted fathers extensive control over their offspring. This quest for autonomy initiated various legal and social transformations, reflecting broader societal changes. Emancipation was not merely an act of defiance. It involved a formal process that required the father's consent or, in some instances, the endorsement of a magistrate. It allowed the individual to step into a realm of self-determination, wielding rights that had previously been inaccessible. In this newly acquired freedom, those who emancipated themselves could engage with contracts, own property, and establish their own familial connections. This development represented a significant shift in the dynamics of authority and responsibility. While the father's influence lingered, the act of emancipation signified the gradual erosion of patriarchal dominance. The newly liberated individuals navigated a complex landscape of expectations and obligations, balancing their newfound rights with the remnants of their past. The ongoing interplay between tradition and change fostered a distinctive cultural evolution. In this environment, the legacy of Patria Potestas continued to shape identities, even as the pathways toward autonomy expanded. The shadows of that authority could still be felt, echoing in the lives of those who dared to redefine their roles. The impact of Patria Potestas extended deeply into the realm of military service, shaping not only the obligations of soldiers, but also the nature of loyalty and authority within the ranks. Fathers held the power to determine the fate of their sons, deciding when they would enter service and the manner in which they would serve. This influence fostered a complex relationship between familial duty and civic responsibility. Young men were often compelled to join the legions, where their actions would reflect upon their family name, enhancing or diminishing their father's standing in society. It was understood that a soldier's valor in battle was, in many ways, a testament to the upbringing and authority of the pater familias. This bond created a sense of shared honor within the military structure, where the legacy of a father could both inspire and burden a son. Disobedience or failure in the field could lead to repercussions that extended beyond the individual, tainting the family honor. In contrast, exemplary service could elevate the entire household, securing a place of respect and privilege. This intricate interplay between paternal authority and military obligation ensured that the specter of Patria Potestas loomed large over those who donned the armor of Rome, reflecting both the gravity and the honor of their service. Literary representations of Patria Potestas reveal its pervasive influence throughout Roman culture. In the works of prominent authors, the authority of the father emerges as a central theme, serving to illustrate societal norms and expectations. Texts often depict the father as a figure of power, wielding control not only over his family, but also reflecting the broader dynamics of Roman governance. In these narratives, the tension between individual desire and familial duty frequently surfaces. Characters struggle under the weight of their father's expectations, negotiating personal aspirations with the demands of legacy and honor. These tensions provide insight into the psychological landscapes of Roman citizens, where loyalty to familial authority often dictated personal choices. The portrayal of paternal figures extends beyond mere authority. It encapsulates the virtues esteemed by society. Wisdom, courage, and justice are often attributed to the father, reinforcing the notion that such qualities are essential for maintaining order and stability. The father's shadow, therefore, serves as both protector and oppressor, a duality that reflects the complexities of familial relationships in ancient Rome. These literary explorations of Patria Potestas not only reveal societal values, but also invite contemplation on the nature of power itself. The father's role becomes emblematic of Rome's broader cultural identity, shaping both individual lives and collective destiny. The philosophical underpinnings of Patria Potestas reveal a complex relationship between authority and familial structure. It embodies the notion of paternal power as a fundamental principle in Roman society, interwoven with legal and moral obligations. This authority extended beyond mere governance within the household. It signified a man's duty to uphold tradition, virtue, and the welfare of his descendants. Rooted in the Roman conception of virtue known as virtues, this power demanded not only control but also an ethical responsibility. Fathers were expected to guide their children, instilling values that would contribute to the stability and continuity of both family and state. This emphasis on moral rectitude cultivated a sense of duty towards ancestors and future generations, propelling the notion of legacy. For times of duty towards ancestors and future generations, propelling the notion of legacy. In legal terms, Patria Potestas granted fathers extensive rights, manifesting in the ability to make critical decisions regarding marriage, property, and even the life or death of offspring. These prerogatives were not merely privileges, but intertwined with societal expectations of strength and wisdom. The implications were profound. Decisions made within this framework influenced the fabric of society, determining the course of familial lines and the strength of the Roman state. Within this jurisdiction, the father's authority echoed through history, shaping not only individual destinies, but also the very essence of Roman cultural identity. Masculinity interwove itself intricately with Patria Potestas, establishing a firm foundation for the societal structure of ancient Rome. This concept of authority bestowed upon fathers reinforced a hierarchy where male dominance prevailed. Each father's role transcended mere governance. It became a symbol of honor and societal expectation. In this region, the father's power over his offspring was both absolute and absolute in its implications. Sons, in particular, were groomed to inherit not just property, but also the weight of familial legacy. The cultivation of virtues such as courage and discipline was paramount, instilling an expectation of strength that aligned with the masculine ideal. Daughters experienced a contrasting reality, often seen as vessels for alliances rather than as individuals in their own right. Their fates hinged upon the decisions of their fathers, reflecting the limitations placed upon them in a male-dominated society. Marriages were strategic, reinforcing alliances that served to bolster the family's standing, while the daughters remained in the shadows of these patriarchal decisions. Such dynamics extended beyond the household, influencing public perception and policy. They permeated military, political, and religious spheres, where masculine authority dictated the course of Rome's expansion and governance. The profound intertwining of gender and power shaped the contours of a civilization, leading to legacies that would echo through time. The economic implications of Patria Potestas in Roman households were profound and far-reaching. This authority, vested primarily in the male head of the family, dictated not only familial relationships, but also financial dynamics. Wealth accumulation and property ownership were centralized in the hands of the paterfamilias, leading to a structured hierarchy within the household. Resources were allocated according to his decisions, with implications for all members of the family unit. Inheritance laws further cemented this authority. Property was typically passed down through male lines, restricting women's access to wealth and economic independence. This practice ensured that economic power remained concentrated, fostering a system where the paterfamilias maintained control over financial resources and decisions. The implications were evident in the labor dynamics within these households. Slavery was prevalent, with many families relying on enslaved individuals to sustain their economic needs. This reliance created a structure of dependency, reinforcing the authority of the male head. The economic landscape of ancient Rome was thus inextricably linked to the principles of Patria Potestas. This structure facilitated the growth of wealth for some while perpetuating cycles of poverty and dependency for others. Through it all, the mantle of authority shaped not only household economies but also the broader economic fabric of Roman society, influencing trade, labor, and social stratification. The presence of the paterfamilias extended into various rituals and public life, solidifying his authority within both the domestic sphere and the wider community. This figure presided over daily household practices, ensuring that religious observances were conducted properly, which in turn reinforced familial unity and societal order. Rituals, such as the lararium offerings to household gods, were not merely personal acts. They served as reflections of the family's honor and standing within the community. In public life, the paterfamilias often represented the family's interests and status, participating in civic duties and decision-making processes. His involvement in public rituals, such as festivals dedicated to gods and ancestors, highlighted the intrinsic link between personal reverence and civic pride. Vows made during these ceremonies underscored a reciprocal relationship with the divine, where successful harvests and victories in battle were attributed to the piety of families. The responsibilities of this role extended into legal matters, where the paterfamilias acted as the family's representative in courts, negotiating contracts and settling disputes. This authority was not merely personal. It was a reflection of the social structure that allowed ancient Rome to thrive. The weight of these rituals and duties contributed to the enduring legacy of the paterfamilias as the embodiment of both tradition and leadership within the fabric of Roman society. The intersection of Patria Potestas and social class reveals a complex hierarchy within Roman society. Those at the apex, the patricians, wielded considerable authority under this paternal power. Wealth and status amplified their influence, allowing them to shape the lives of their families and clients with significant autonomy. This dynamic established a distinct separation between the elite and the lower classes, where the privileges of the upper echelons reinforced societal stratification. These familial structures were not merely personal but systemic, with the paterfamilias acting as a representative of both family and social standing. The responsibilities of governance, financial oversight, and social representation fell squarely on their shoulders. In contrast, the plebeians, amilasab representatives, fell squarely on their shoulders. In contrast, the plebeians, amelias way sed or go, while also guided by the principles of Patria Potestas, experienced a more constrained version of this authority. Economic limitations often restricted their ability to exercise power, leading to a different manifestation of familial hierarchy. Legal frameworks further delineated these boundaries, with the rights of the paterfamilias enshrined in laws that favored the affluent. Consequently, the authority of the father could exert varying degrees of influence based on social class, creating a landscape where power dynamics shifted with wealth. This divergence in experience offered insight into the broader societal roles of men and women, shaping the very essence of familial relationships in the ancient world. Notable figures exemplifying the role of the paterfamilias illuminate the complexities of authority within Roman society. Gaius Julius Caesar stands as a prominent example, embodying both political ambition and familial duty. His influence extended beyond military conquests, as he navigated personal relationships with distinct expectations. The household, under his command, was a microcosm, reflecting the broader dynamics of power and loyalty. Within this realm, the father wielded unmatched authority, dictating the lives and futures of family members. Another significant case is that of Augustus, the first Roman emperor. His reformative policies regarding family life underscored the importance of maintaining traditional values by promoting marriage and discouraging adultery. He sought to reinforce the stability of familial structures. Augustus utilized his position to reshape societal norms, ensuring that the role of the paterfamilias remained central to Roman identity. The actions of these men reveal how authority was not merely personal, but intertwined with the collective societal fabric. Their decisions shaped not only their immediate families, but also influenced generations, establishing precedents and expectations. This intricate relationship between power and family dynamics illustrates the pervasive impact of the paterfamilias on the cultural landscape of ancient Rome. Authority, while concentrated in the hands of the father, echoed throughout the broader community, defining the paths of countless lives. The Patria Potestas extended beyond mere paternal control. It also shaped alternative family structures within Roman society. This concept allowed for the formal adoption of children, a practice imbued with significant social and legal implications. Adoption served as a means to perpetuate family lines, ensuring the continuity of family legacy and property. It was not merely an act of compassion but a strategic decision made by individuals seeking to secure their lineage, reinforcing the authority of the father figure. In this context, adopted sons could ascend to the same status as biological offspring, inheriting the rights and responsibilities bestowed by Patria Potestas. This transformation often required a formal ceremony, where the adopted individual was integrated into the family unit. Such rituals underscored the importance of familial bonds and the transfer of authority, aligning the adopted child with the societal expectations placed on biological heirs. This practice also reflected the adaptability of Roman society, allowing for a diverse range of familial arrangements. The influence of a father's authority could extend to those who were not biologically related, reshaping the traditional notion of family. These adopted individuals, once integrated, participated in the same social and legal structures that governed their adoptive families, further demonstrating the fluidity of paternal influence and the profound impact of Patria Potestas on societal dynamics. Guardianship played a crucial role in the context of Patria Potestas, serving as a mechanism for the protection and management of those deemed vulnerable or dependent. This figure, often appointed for minors or individuals incapable of self-governance, exercised authority that complemented the father's overarching influence. Guardianship ensured that the well-being of wards was maintained, while also integrating them into the fabric of family and societal obligations. The guardian's responsibilities included managing financial affairs and overseeing education, thereby reinforcing the father's dominance in decision-making processes. This arrangement not only facilitated the smooth operation of familial structures, but also reflected the values inherent in Roman society, which prioritized duty, loyalty, and continuity. Such roles were not merely functional, they carried significant implications for the identity and status of individuals within the community. In cases of parental absence or death, the guardian would assume the father's role in maintaining the household's legacy. This transition highlighted the adaptability of Patria Potestas, allowing familial bonds to persist despite disruptions. Legal frameworks often dictated the terms of guardianship, ensuring that the interests of the wards aligned with those of the family unit. Through these mechanisms, the influence of the father extended beyond biological relationships, shaping the destinies of individuals and the very structure of Roman society itself. Greek culture permeated Roman life, introducing sophisticated philosophical frameworks that redefined concepts of authority. The integration of Hellenistic ideals influenced the perception of paternal power, shifting from mere dominance to a more nuanced understanding of governance and ethics. This evolution allowed for a complex interplay between traditional Roman values and the emerging Greek philosophies, particularly in the domains of justice and morality. Philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle presented frameworks that emphasized virtue and the role of the ideal ruler, resonating with Roman elites. This region began to adopt these principles, creating a hybrid of authority that valued wisdom alongside lineage. The father's role, while still central, was increasingly viewed as a responsibility to cultivate moral character in his children, reflecting the broader societal expectations shaped by Greek thought. The impact of this cultural exchange was evident in the legal structures that governed familial relationships. The concept of Patria Potestas gained layers of meaning as it evolved, incorporating ideas of benevolence and guidance. In this setting, the father's authority was not solely about control. It became a duty to uphold the virtue of the family unit, aligning with the philosophical ideals that began to take root across the Mediterranean. This subtle transformation in authority did not merely reflect changing attitudes, but also reinforced the cohesion of Roman identity amidst a backdrop of cultural convergence. Challenges emerged against this established authority, often manifesting in various forms of social unrest. These revolts were not isolated incidents, but rather reflections of deeper societal discontent, driven by economic disparities and evolving social hierarchies. As the Roman populace grew increasingly aware of its status within the vast empire, tensions began to surface, questioning the very foundations of Patria Potestas. The plebeians, often at the forefront of these movements, sought greater representation and rights, forging alliances that transcended familial structures. In this climate, the father's authority faced scrutiny as traditional roles began to falter under the weight of collective demands. The emergence of new social classes further complicated these dynamics, with their aspirations challenging the long-held privileges of patrician families. Legislation such as the Lex Hortensia highlighted these shifts, illustrating a gradual erosion of absolute paternal authority. The changing landscape prompted debates surrounding citizenship, property rights, and the familial hierarchy itself. In particular, the question of a father's absolute power over his children sparked intense discussions among philosophers and lawmakers, paving the way for a more nuanced understanding of authority. This period also witnessed the rise of influential figures who rallied the masses, advocating for reforms that could redefine the relationship between fathers and their children, shifting from an emphasis on dominance to one of mutual respect and shared responsibility. The transformation of Patria Potestas during the late Republic signified a gradual shift in societal perceptions surrounding paternal authority. This era marked a departure from the rigid structures that had long governed familial relationships. Legal reforms began to emerge, reflecting the evolving attitudes towards the rights of individuals, particularly within the context of family dynamics. At the Prussia, the emergence of new philosophical ideologies encouraged a re-evaluation of traditional roles, with an emphasis on emotional bonds rather than mere power. Fathers increasingly found their authority challenged not only by the state, but also by their children, who began to assert their autonomy. This gradual empowerment was indicative of a broader cultural shift, as individuals sought to carve out their identities apart from their familial ties. Legislation began to recognize the importance of consent and the welfare of children, leading to significant changes in inheritance laws and guardianship. These alterations provided a framework that acknowledged the individuality of offspring, moving away from the perspective that viewed them solely as extensions of paternal will. The discourse surrounding these developments fostered a climate of debate among scholars and citizens alike, prompting discussions that would resonate throughout subsequent generations. This transformation in societal values was profoundly influenced by Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasized virtue, reason, and self-control. In ancient Rome, Stoicism became a guiding force for many, providing a framework that shaped the perception of familial roles and the authority of the pater familias. The father's role, once seen solely as a figure of authority and control, began to incorporate ideals of moral integrity and rational governance. Through Stoic teachings, the responsibilities of the father extended beyond mere dominance over family members. They emphasized the importance of equanimity and ethical behavior, urging patriarchs to act in the best interests of their families. This shift brought a quieter, more reflective approach to authority. The father's decisions were expected to be grounded in reason rather than impulsive reactions, fostering a nurturing environment conducive to the development of virtue within the family unit. As these philosophical principles permeated Roman society, they redefined familial relationships. The father was not merely a ruler, but also a mentor, responsible for guiding his children towards a life of moral fortitude. This evolution in thought encouraged a more balanced dynamic, allowing for mutual respect and understanding between generations. Consequently, the influence of Stoicism illuminated the complex interplay between authority and affection within the Roman family structure, crafting a legacy that would resonate through the ages. Patria Potestas defined the authority of the father, establishing a framework that governed familial relationships and underscored loyalty among members. This paternal power extended beyond mere governance. It encompassed the moral obligation of children to uphold the family's honor and traditions. Loyalty was not simply a matter of obedience. It was ingrained within the cultural fabric, reflecting an enduring commitment to the family unit. Children were expected to demonstrate unwavering allegiance, often at the expense of personal desires. This loyalty was reinforced through rituals, education, and shared experiences, which fostered a sense of belonging. Fathers, as the ultimate authority, shaped these values, guiding their progeny in the ways of duty and respect. The weight of this expectation created a continuum of familial bonds that transcended generations. In times of conflict, loyalty manifested as a protective instinct, with family members rallying together to defend their collective interests. The consequences of disloyalty, perceived as a betrayal, could be severe, resulting in social ostracism or loss of status. This environment cultivated a profound sense of identity rooted in familial ties, where each individual's role reinforced the larger narrative of the household. The reverberations of Patria Potestas echoed throughout Roman society, securing its place in the annals of history as a defining characteristic of familial dynamics and societal cohesion. The pater familias held significant authority within economic transactions, embodying the intersection of family and commerce. This figure was not merely a symbolic leader but a decisive actor in managing resources, overseeing household finances, and ensuring the prosperity of the family unit. Wealth was often accumulated through land ownership, agricultural production, and trade, all of which fell under the purview of this central authority. Every decision regarding property, investments, and inheritance reflected the pater familias's influence, shaping the family's economic landscape. The management of assets required a blend of strategic foresight and practical skill, as the outcomes of these transactions directly impacted the well-being of dependents. Each negotiation, whether with merchants or other landowners, was a testament to the authority vested in this role. The paterfamilias was also responsible for maintaining relationships with creditors and safeguarding the family's financial integrity. This responsibility extended to the management of debts and the stewardship of wealth that could be passed down through generations. The outcomes of these economic interactions often determined not only the financial stability of the household, but also its standing within the broader community. In this manner, the paterfamilias served as both a guardian of tradition and a navigator of commerce, ensuring that the family's legacy continued to thrive. The authority exercised over economic matters solidified his position as a cornerstone of Roman familial structure. Societal expectations created a framework within which the authority of the paterfamilias could thrive, defining not only individual roles but also the collective identity of the family unit. This influence extended into the realms of education, moral guidance, and social conduct, shaping the values imparted to subsequent generations. The father's shadow loomed large, dictating the permissible behaviors and aspirations of all family members. Sons learned to embody traits of strength, responsibility, and leadership, while daughters were often groomed for roles that emphasized domesticity and obedience. The presence of Patria Potestas established a hierarchy that influenced interactions beyond the household. Marriages were often arranged with an eye toward alliances that would enhance family status or wealth, reinforcing the father's role as a pivotal decision-maker. This control over personal destinies underscored the patriarchal nature of Roman society, where loyalty and allegiance to the family could supersede individual desires. In public life, the manifestations of this authority were evident. Social gatherings, religious ceremonies, and civic duties all reflected the father's status and power. Such gatherings served not only to celebrate family achievements, but also to reaffirm the father's position within the community. The intricate web of expectations surrounding the paterfamilias created a lasting legacy, shaping both familial dynamics and broader societal norms in ancient Rome. Patria Potestas served as a cornerstone of Roman law, influencing the evolution of legal reforms over centuries. This authority endowed the male head of the family with extensive rights over his children and dependents, establishing a hierarchical structure that permeated society. The legal framework surrounding these rights granted the paterfamilias control over property, decisions regarding marriage, and even the capacity to determine life and death within the household. Such power was not merely personal, it reflected broader societal values, reinforcing the significance of lineage and inheritance. Legislative changes, particularly during the late Republic and early Empire, began to introduce nuances to this authority. The Lex Julia and Lex Papia Poppaea aimed to encourage marriage and childbirth, subtly challenging the absolute nature of Patria Potestas. These reforms acknowledged the changing realities of family life and sought to balance individual rights against traditional patriarchal powers. In this context, the gradual shifts in legal interpretations highlighted a society grappling with the tension between ancient customs and emerging social norms. The father's authority, while still dominant, faced scrutiny as new ideals of paternal care and responsibility emerged. This evolution signified a pivotal transition, where the paternal role began to encompass not just control, but also a measure of compassion and guidance within the family unit. Artistic representations during this period reflect the profound influence of Patria Potestas on societal values. Sculptures and reliefs increasingly depicted the father figure as a central authority embodying both power and benevolence. In many works, the figure of the paterfamilias stands prominently, often surrounded by his wife and children, symbolizing the protective and guiding aspects of his role. These portrayals were not merely decorative. They communicated the expectations and responsibilities associated with fatherhood. Artists utilized a range of materials, from marble to fresco, to convey the dignity and gravitas of the paternal figure. The careful attention to detail in facial expressions and postures reveals a cultural reverence for the familial hierarchy, where the father was not just a ruler but also a nurturer. In domestic settings, frescoes often illustrated scenes of familial interaction, further emphasizing the father's role in both governance and affection. The depiction of the family unit in these works served to reinforce societal norms, portraying the ideal father as a source of strength and discipline, while also imparting wisdom and emotional support. Such artistic expressions not only encapsulated the ideals of ancient Roman society, but also served as a means of preserving these values for future generations. Through this lens, the interplay of authority and compassion within the family became a lasting legacy in the cultural narrative. The emergence of Christianity introduced profound shifts in the dynamics of authority within the Roman family structure. This new faith emphasized values of compassion, humility, and equality, which began to challenge the rigid frameworks of Patria Potestas that had long defined familial relationships. The father's authority, once absolute, faced scrutiny as Christian teachings encouraged a more equitable distribution of power among family members. With the rise of the Church, the moral and spiritual obligations of fathers evolved. They were encouraged to embody Christ-like qualities, fostering an environment of love and guidance rather than mere dominance. This reorientation led to a gradual transformation in the expectations placed upon patriarchs. Christianity's influence also saw the introduction of the concept of mutual respect within the household. Spouses were increasingly viewed as partners in faith, rather than subjects beneath paternal rule. This shifting paradigm began to resonate throughout Roman society, redefining familial roles and relationships. As the Church gained prominence, the legal repercussions of Patria Potestas diminished. The state began to recognize the emotional and spiritual welfare of family members, redirecting attention from authoritarian control to nurturing responsibility. Over time, these shifts contributed to a new understanding of family life that embraced the duality of authority and affection, forever altering the landscape of domestic authority in ancient Rome. Gradually, the institution of Patria Potestas began to experience a significant decline, influenced by various social and legal factors. Shifting economic conditions played a pivotal role, as the rise of new social classes diminished the power of traditional familial structures. This transition eroded the absolute authority once held by fathers, creating a more egalitarian atmosphere within households. Legal reforms further contributed to this evolution. Changes in legislation, particularly during the late Republic and the early Empire, began to recognize the rights of individuals, including women and children. These adjustments introduced complexities into familial relationships, challenging the previously unassailable dominance of paternal authority. The emergence of new legal frameworks allowed for greater autonomy as individuals sought to navigate their roles within this transforming society. Meistemindre the Lawtele, Eduufontud Enovicing Thesata began to permeate Roman culture, introducing philosophical concepts that emphasized personal rights and individual dignity. This intellectual shift encouraged a re-evaluation of paternal roles and responsibilities, fostering a more nuanced understanding of authority that encompassed care and guidance rather than mere control. Consequently, the decline of Patria Potestas ushered in profound changes within domestic life, reshaping the dynamics of power and affection. The family unit began to reflect broader societal transformations, illustrating the complex interplay between tradition and modernity in ancient Rome. These changes established a foundation for future familial structures that continued to evolve over time. This legacy is reflected in contemporary family law, where parental authority remains a central tenet. The remnants of ancient Rome's patrician influence are evident in the legal frameworks that govern familial relationships today. This connection manifests in various doctrines, including custody arrangements and the rights of guardianship. These principles are often rooted in the paternalistic ideals that originated within Roman society, emphasizing the father's role as the primary decision-maker. Legal systems worldwide exhibit echoes of this historical authority, with many still recognizing the father as a significant figure in family dynamics. While modern interpretations advocate for shared responsibilities, the historical precedents set by Patria Potestas cannot be disregarded. Child protection laws, inheritance rights, and parental responsibilities frequently reflect this paternal legacy, shaping the expectations and obligations of contemporary parents. The evolution of these principles continues, influenced by changing social norms and values. Movements advocating for gender equality and shared parental responsibilities challenge traditional frameworks, prompting a reassessment of authority within the family unit. This shift indicates a gradual yet important transition from the unidirectional influence of the father to a more inclusive model of guardianship. Contemporary legal discourse often revisits these historical contexts, seeking to balance the enduring legacies of ancient authority with modern understandings of equity and collaboration. In this way, the unseen authority of ancient Rome persists, subtly guiding the contours of family law today. Patria Potestas embodied the supreme authority of the father within the Roman household, a legal framework that established both power and responsibility. This principle dictated not only familial hierarchy, but also the intricate interplay of justice within society. The father held the exclusive rights over his children, determining their education, marriage, and even life or death. Such authority was not arbitrary. It was enshrined in a society that valued order and structure. In this context, justice was often viewed through the lens of duty and obligation. The father's role transcended mere governance, as it encompassed the moral and ethical guidance of his family. The judiciary reflected this dynamic, where cases involving family disputes frequently drew upon the father's standing. His decisions were generally seen as extensions of the broader social order, reinforcing the pillars of Roman identity. Legal mechanisms facilitated the enforcement of Patria Potestas, ensuring that the father's decisions were respected and upheld. This was evident in the treatment of children and slaves, who were considered extensions of the father's will. The implications of these relationships extended beyond the household, shaping the governance of communities and influencing interactions within the larger Roman state. Justice, in this light, was not solely punitive. It served to preserve the integrity of familial units and, by extension, the societal structure itself. The paterfamilias assumed a crucial role during times of crisis, embodying authority and guidance within the household. This figure was responsible for making critical decisions that could alter the family's trajectory in moments of conflict or distress, such as war or famine. The head of the family wielded significant influence over the actions and well-being of each member. His dictates could determine not only the fate of individuals, but also the cohesion of the entire unit. During periods of external threat, the paterfamilias often mobilized resources, ensuring that those under his care were adequately protected and provided for. This leadership was not merely a reflection of authority. It was an expectation rooted deeply within societal norms. Community response was also shaped by this figure's actions. as families looked to their heads for direction and reassurance. In domestic crises that Patria, such as illness or financial hardship, the responsibilities intensified. The paterfamilias had to weigh the needs of the family against the demands of their position. The balance of power often sent ripples through the household, as decisions made in haste could have far-reaching consequences. Those in this role often faced the burden of solitude, their decisions isolating them even as they aimed to unify and safeguard the family's interests. The complexities of leadership in these critical moments illustrated the weight of authority carried within the shadows of ancient Rome. The psychological dynamics of authority within the family unit reveal intricate layers of influence and control. In ancient Rome, the father held ultimate power, a position known as Patria Potestas. Deeply embedded in social and legal structures, this authority extended beyond mere governance. It shaped the moral and emotional landscape of familial relationships. The father's decisions dictated the trajectories of his children's lives, encompassing aspects from education to marriage, thereby instilling a sense of duty and adherence to family expectations. Within this framework, the psychological impact on offspring was profound. Sons, groomed to inherit authority, often internalized expectations, leading to a complex interplay of ambition and anxiety. Daughters, bound by the weight of their father's decisions, faced a different set of pressures, often feeling the burden of compliance. The father's authority was omnipresent, fostering a psychological environment where respect and fear coexisted. This influence extended to the broader community, as families represented microcosms of Roman society. The behaviors and values instilled by paternal figures resonated beyond household walls, contributing to societal norms. The father as shadow loomed large, not only crafting the identity of individual family members, but also shaping the collective consciousness of a civilization. Such dynamics of authority and psychological impact echo through history, leaving lasting impressions on the evolution of societal structures. The intersection of authority and education in ancient Rome reveals a profound connection between Patria Potestas and the formation of young minds under the aegis of paternal power. The role of the father extended beyond mere oversight. It encompassed the very shaping of intellectual and moral character. This institution mandated that fathers were primarily responsible for the education of their sons, whether through formal schooling or personal tutelage. In this context, the familial environment served as the initial classroom, where values, ethics, and practical skills were imparted. Sons were expected to learn not only the art of rhetoric and literacy, but also the principles of citizenship and virtue. The father's influence was paramount, guiding their progeny through lessons that intertwined personal development with responsibilities to society. For daughters, the educational landscape differed significantly, as their instruction often centered around domestic skills, preparing them for roles within the household. The paternal authority dictated the extent and nature of their education, reinforcing traditional gender roles that persisted throughout Roman society. The educational systems, shaped by the overarching authority of fathers, contributed to a structured societal fabric. This framework fostered a sense of continuity and stability, linking individual identity with communal expectations. As the legacy of Patria Potestas extended into the realms of knowledge and societal participation, the legal status of women under Patria Potestas was one of inherent subordination, defined by the authority of their male guardians. This system delineated the roles of women strictly within the domestic sphere, where they were expected to fulfill duties as wives and mothers. Their rights were largely non-existent. Ownership of property and legal autonomy were constrained under the overarching control of fathers or husbands. women could not inherit property in their own right, and their financial transactions required male approval, emphasizing a power dynamic that favored male authority. These constraints did not entirely negate women's influence in Roman society. While their legal status was limited, women often exerted considerable informal power through familial networks and personal relationships. Some women navigated these restrictions, leveraging their positions to gain influence within their households, and sometimes extending their reach into social and political spheres. The implications of Patria Potestas on women's lives were pervasive. In a society that prized lineage and inheritance, a woman's identity was often subsumed under her father's or husband's authority, with personal achievements overshadowed by male lineage. While this arrangement provided stability and continuity for families, it simultaneously reinforced a structure that marginalized female agency and individuality. The legacy of this legal framework continues to resonate in discussions of gender roles and authority throughout history. Integral to the social structure, the pater familias wielded significant influence within the community, serving as the primary authority figure. This position was not merely a familial construct, but extended into the public sphere, where it shaped local governance and communal relationships. The responsibilities of this role encompassed the welfare of family members and the management of property, but also included broader obligations to neighbors and fellow citizens. Leadership manifested in various forms, from presiding over family gatherings to participating in religious ceremonies, guiding the collective moral compass of the community. This authority was often reflected in the ability to make decisions that impacted the lives of others, lending strength to community cohesion. The paterfamilias was the keeper of traditions, ensuring the continuity of customs and rites essential to the social fabric. Such dominion came with expectations of wisdom and fairness, fostering a sense of stability within the local populace. When conflicts arose, it was often the paterfamilias who mediated disputes, restoring harmony through established norms and principles. This leadership model, rooted in patriarchal lineage, not only influenced the legal standing of individuals, but also shaped collective identities. The weight of their decisions rippled through generations, subtly reinforcing the foundations of societal norms and expectations that governed communal life. In urban settings, Patria Potestas manifested through a more complex structure. As families navigated the bustling demands of city life, the father's authority dictated not only familial relationships, but also interactions with the broader community. In this environment, economic pressures and social hierarchies intensified the father's role as a protector and provider. Decisions concerning trade, property, and social alliances fell under his jurisdiction, shaping the family's standing within the intricate web of urban society. The visibility of this authority often translated into public displays of influence, where the father's status determined access to resources and opportunities. Conversely, rural settings presented a different dynamic. Here, the father's authority remained vital, but was often intertwined with the rhythms of agricultural life. The demands of farming dictated daily activities, where the father's decisions directly impacted the family's livelihood. It was in these quiet landscapes that the principles of Patria Potestas fostered cooperation and collective effort among family members, ensuring the survival and continuity of their agricultural practices. This connection to the land reinforced traditional roles as the father's dominion extended beyond the family unit to encompass the broader community's agricultural cycles. Both environments reflected the nuances of authority, demonstrating how the principles of Patria Potestas adapted to the specific needs and challenges of urban and rural life. The father's shadow loomed prominently, shaping the experiences of those within his domain. Ancestor worship played a significant role within the framework of Patria Potestas, serving as a conduit for family legacy and societal continuity. This practice was deeply embedded in the daily lives of Roman families, where reverence for forebears was not merely an act of piety, but a societal expectation. It established a connection between generations, reinforcing the authority of the paternal figure in both spiritual and temporal realms. Rituals dedicated to ancestors were commonplace, often occurring at family shrines adorned with images and offerings. These sacred spaces served as reminders of the lineage and the responsibilities bestowed upon the living. The father's authority extended beyond mere governance. It included the moral obligation to uphold the family's honor and traditions. This reverence created a sense of duty, compelling offspring to engage in practices that honored their lineage. The impact of ancestor worship on daily decision-making was profound. It influenced marriage arrangements, the management of wealth, and the education of children, all under the watchful eye of those who had come before. Such dynamics instilled a collective identity, binding family members to a shared heritage. The emphasis on ancestral veneration ensured that the father's shadow remained a guiding force, shaping not only personal aspirations, but also the wider societal fabric. This interplay of authority and reverence defined the essence of familial relationships in ancient Rome. The psychological impact of Patria Potestas on children was profound, shaping their identities and social behaviors. Within this framework, the father's authority cast a long shadow, instilling a sense of obedience and respect from an early age. Children grew accustomed to the rigid hierarchy, learning to navigate the complexities of familial loyalty and duty. This dynamic fostered a deep-seated understanding of their roles within the family unit, often prioritizing the father's will above personal desires. Emotional development was intricately linked to this authority. The sons, destined to inherit the family legacy, felt the weight of expectations. They internalized the need to emulate their father's virtues, creating a cycle of aspiration that perpetuated traditional values. Daughters, on the other hand, experienced a different kind of influence. Their formative years revolved around understanding their place within society, often relegated to the margins of autonomy, which shaped their psychological landscape in distinct ways. The repercussions of such an upbringing were multifaceted. On one hand, this structure provided stability and guidance. On the other, it could breed resentment or disconnect, particularly if a child felt overshadowed by paternal expectations. The long-term effects manifested in adulthood, influencing personal relationships and social interactions, leaving an indelible mark on the psyche of those raised under the watchful eye of the father's authority. Patria Potestas wielded immense influence over the economic structures of Roman society, shaping not only familial hierarchies, but also the broader social landscape. The father's authority extended into matters of property and wealth, dictating the distribution of resources within the household. This arrangement often resulted in significant disparities, as the power dynamics established by paternal control determined access to economic opportunities. In this context, financial resources became a reflection of one's familial standing, with the father's decisions impacting the welfare of the entire household. Wealth accumulation was closely tied to the outcomes of the father's authority, where favored children might inherit substantial assets, while others faced a stark reality of deprivation. The implications of this uneven distribution reverberated through the community, fostering a clear demarcation between the affluent and the impoverished. And the economic disparities widened. The influence of Patria Potestas became increasingly pronounced, reinforcing social stratification. Those in lower strata often lacked the privileges afforded to wealthier families, perpetuating cycles of disadvantage that could span generations. Such dynamics created a society where economic mobility was severely constrained and personal agency remained tethered to the paternal figure. The outcomes of these arrangements extended beyond individual families, embedding themselves within the larger fabric of Roman society, where economic inequality became a defining characteristic of life. Changes in family dynamics unfolded gradually, reflecting broader societal transformations during the imperial era. Within this period, the role of the pater familias evolved significantly. Authority remained centralized in the figure of the father, but the complexities of urban life began to influence familial structures. As cities expanded, the nuclear family became more prevalent, shifting away from the extended kinship systems that had previously dominated. The emergence of wealth among certain classes introduced new expectations and tension. Fathers, once solely responsible for the welfare and discipline of their children, found themselves navigating intricate relationships with a growing number of slaves and freedmen who contributed to household management. This altered the dynamics of authority and loyalty within the home. Children, particularly sons, were increasingly educated in rhetoric and philosophy, preparing them for roles in public life. Yet this education often came at the cost of traditional familial bonds. Women's roles also transformed during this time, as some gained greater agency, particularly in elite circles. They began to exert influence through marriages that aligned with familial ambitions, thus reshaping the patriarchal structure. While the father's shadow remained a dominant force, it began to coexist with new forms of familial allegiance, where loyalty could emanate from both blood and circumstance. This shift laid the groundwork for future changes in Roman social organization. The concept of Patria Potestas deeply influenced the formation of Roman identity, intertwining paternal authority with societal structure. This authority granted the father absolute control over his children and, in many cases, his wife, creating a familial hierarchy that reinforced the values of loyalty and duty. Within this framework, the father's role extended beyond mere governance. It encompassed the moral and ethical upbringing of the family, shaping the character of future citizens. Patria Potestas also fostered a sense of collective identity, binding individuals to their lineage and heritage. As the family unit became a microcosm of Roman society, the respect for paternal authority translated into a broader reverence for the state. Each individual, molded under this system, contributed to the stability and continuity of Roman culture. The father's authority was not merely personal, but reflected a societal expectation, reinforcing the collective identity of Rome. In periods of expansion and conflict, this bond became crucial. The loyalty instilled within families fueled military service and civic duty, ensuring that the ideals of Rome were upheld. The influence of Patria Potestas extended into legal and political realms, embedding itself in the very fabric of Roman law and governance. This unseen authority persisted, shaping not just individual lives, but the greater narrative of Rome, its values, and its enduring legacy. The complexities of Patria Potestas created a profound dissonance within the Roman social structure. While it underscored the authority of the father as the ultimate decision-maker in familial affairs, it also imposed constraints on personal freedom. Individuals, particularly sons and daughters, found themselves navigating a landscape where their desires and ambitions were often secondary to the father's will. This dynamic fostered a culture where loyalty to familial duty overshadowed individual aspirations. In this region, the responsibilities of the father extended beyond the household, influencing social, legal, and economic dimensions. The patriarch wielded significant power, dictating choices regarding marriage, inheritance, and even personal relationships. It created a societal fabric where personal agency seemed tethered to the whims of paternal authority. Daughters, bound by the expectations of obedience and subservience, experienced this tension acutely. Their futures were often negotiated in silence, with the father's decisions framing their destinies. Sons, while afforded a measure of autonomy, often felt compelled to align their ambitions with familial expectations. This intricate interplay between authority and freedom shaped the identity of individuals, while reinforcing the collective ethos of Roman society. The legacy of Patria Potestas lingers in echoes of familial loyalty and the complex negotiation of personal desires within the broader societal framework. Family names in ancient Rome carried profound significance, often reflecting the weight of paternal authority and societal status. Under the doctrine of Patria Potestas, the father's influence extended beyond mere household governance, shaping the identity and legacy of his descendants. This influence dictated not only the preservation of family honor, but also the direction of personal ambition and potential. The continuity of family names served as a vessel for ancestral pride, intertwining individual identity with the collective memory of lineage. The father's decisions, often revered as final, determined the paths of sons and daughters alike. This hierarchical structure ensured that familial legacies remained intact, with each generation tasked to uphold the achievements and reputation of their forebears. Personal aspirations, while present, frequently yielded to the expectations set by paternal authority. Marriages were strategically arranged to fortify alliances, further entrenching familial status within the socio-political landscape. The triumphs and tribulations of one generation thus resonated through time, echoing in the lives of future descendants who navigated the rigid confines of their inherited roles. In this framework, the father's shadow loomed large, shaping the narrative of family history. The intricate balance of duty, expectation, and identity forged a complex web, highlighting the enduring impact of Patria Potestas on the evolution of family names and their associated legacies. Transformations within the framework of Patria Potestas during the Byzantine era began to reflect the shifting societal values and legal structures of the time. Authority, once wielded with absolute power by the male head of the family, began to encounter influences from emerging Christian doctrines, which emphasized compassion and moral responsibility. This evolving perspective tempered the rigid nature of paternal authority, giving rise to a more nuanced understanding of familial roles and obligations. In this region, the legal codifications introduced significant changes, particularly under Emperor Justinian. The reformation of laws sought to balance individual rights with the traditional prerogatives of the father. These adjustments allowed for increased autonomy of individuals, particularly women, who began to experience a semblance of legal recognition outside the confines of their father's authority. The father's role, while still central, was increasingly seen through the lens of partnership and guidance rather than sheer dominance. The concept of inheritance transformed as well, with more equitable distribution practices emerging, reflecting a broader societal shift towards fairness. These developments did not erase the influence of Patria Potestas, but rather integrated it into a more complex legal and ethical framework. As these changes unfolded, the family structure began to mirror the evolving state dynamics, where personal identity grew increasingly intertwined with collective community values and responsibilities. The maintenance of social hierarchy was intricately linked to the notion of Patria Potestas. This authority vested in the male head of the family allowed him to exert control over all familial members, shaping individual destinies within the confines of societal expectations. The power granted under this doctrine extended beyond mere governance. It defined status, privilege, and the very fabric of community life. Within this framework, the father's shadow loomed large, dictating not only the familial structure but also the broader social landscape. Decisions regarding marriage, property, and even life or death were often influenced by this paternal influence, reinforcing the hierarchical order established by Roman society. The father's prerogative ensured that lineage remained paramount, preserving the wealth and status of families across generations. Familial loyalty served as a foundation for political allegiance, intertwining personal and civic duty. This bond facilitated the propagation of cultural values, embedding them deep within the societal consciousness. Those under the father's authority were expected to uphold these traditions, further entrenching the established order. In this context, the father's role transcended personal jurisdiction, becoming a symbol of continuity and stability within a rapidly changing world. The echoes of this authority resonate through time, casting a long shadow over the dynamics of power and identity in ancient Rome. Patria Potestas manifested prominently during Roman festivals and celebrations, illustrating the father's authority in both public and private spheres. These occasions often served as platforms for patriarchal influence, where rituals underscored the significance of the family unit under paternal control. The observance of the Parentalia, a festival dedicated to honoring ancestors, exemplified this relationship. During these days, families gathered to pay homage to their forebears, reinforcing the father's role as the custodian of familial memory and legacy. In this context, the father's presence shaped not only the rituals themselves, but also the collective identity of the household. The leading figure orchestrated offerings and prayers, ensuring that the family's lineage remained acknowledged within the larger societal framework. A similar dynamic appeared during the Lupercalia, where the father's guidance influenced the conduct of youth in their transition to adulthood. Initiatory rites celebrated under his authority reflected the broader societal expectations of male responsibility and civic duty. This control extended beyond the family, permeating communal gatherings. During these festivals, the father's shadow loomed large, dictating behaviors and interactions among participants. The intersection of family and public life revealed how deeply intertwined Patria Potestas was with the cultural fabric of ancient Rome, illustrating the enduring nature of paternal authority within the collective consciousness. The influence of Patria Potestas extended beyond the confines of the household, manifesting in the interactions between familial authority and the governing structures of the state. This dynamic was evident in the legal framework that upheld the father's power, granting him dominion over his children and even his wife's legal status. Such authority was not merely a private matter, it carried significant implications for citizenship, inheritance, and political loyalty. The father, as a patriarch, held the responsibility of shaping the moral and civic character of his offspring, thus reinforcing societal values through personal upbringing. In this context, the role of the father paralleled that of the state, which sought to cultivate loyalty and stability among its citizens. The state recognized the importance of the family unit as a microcosm of society, relying on paternal authority to instill discipline and adherence to civic duties. This relationship was codified in laws that reflected the state's vested interest in maintaining family integrity as a foundation for a cohesive social order. The implications of Patria Potestas also resonated in matters of succession and legacy, where a father's decisions directly influenced the political landscape. As a result, the father's authority was not only a personal domain but also a significant component of the broader socio-political architecture of ancient Rome, interweaving private life with public responsibility. Transgressions against the principle of Patria Potestas carried profound legal and social ramifications. Violating this authority often led to severe repercussions, both for the individual and their family. A father's legitimate power over his children and household was codified in law, making any infringement a matter of public concern. The state viewed challenges to paternal authority as threats to social order, potentially leading to legal action. Vereinigt these challenges to paternal authority as threats to social order, potentially leading to legal action. Why, in extreme cases, a father could disown his children, stripping them of rights and inheritance. This act not only affected the individual's social standing, but also jeopardized their financial security. Kinship ties, which defined one's identity in Roman society, could be irrevocably severed. Such disowning was seen as a significant loss, reflecting poorly on the familial lineage. Culturally, violating the expected deference to paternal authority could result in ostracism. Families often faced scrutiny from their community, leading to a breakdown of social cohesion. The expectation of filial loyalty was integral to societal values, and any deviation was met with disapproval. Judicial systems enforced these norms, illustrating the intertwining of personal and political realms. Courts upheld the sanctity of paternal power, reinforcing it through legal precedents. This interplay of law and social expectation ensured that the authority of the father remained a cornerstone of Roman identity and governance. The repercussions of Patria Potestas extended into the very fabric of Roman political life. Authority vested in the father translated into a societal structure where familial bonds dictated political alliances. Patrons and clients relied on these relationships, creating networks that influenced governance and social hierarchy. This foundation allowed for a system where loyalty and power often stemmed from familial ties, shaping the decisions within the Senate and local administration. Legislation reflected this hierarchy. Laws concerning inheritance and property rights were steeped in the authority of the paterfamilias, ensuring that familial wealth remained consolidated. This consolidation fostered an elite class, reinforcing the notion that power was inherently linked to bloodlines. The implications of these structures are evident in the rise of prominent families, whose influence often overshadowed singular political figures. Debates within the Senate were frequently colored by these dynamics. The voices of those aligned with powerful families often drowned out dissenting opinions, creating an echo chamber of reinforcement. Political offices could be viewed as extensions of familial authority, further complicating the delineation between personal ambition and public service. In this context, the father's shadow loomed large over policy making and civic duty, perpetuating a system where loyalty to family superseded personal ideology. The consequences shaped not only individual lives but the trajectory of Rome itself. The global influence of Roman concepts of authority extended far beyond the borders of the empire, permeating diverse cultures and societies. This framework of paternal power established a foundation for familial structures that would echo through time. In various regions, the father's role evolved into a dominant figure, reflecting the Roman model of governance within the household. Such authority often dictated social dynamics, influencing the status of women, children, and even slaves. In many instances, the patriarch's decisions determined not only familial wealth, but also social standing and legacy. As these principles spread, they adapted to local customs, blending with indigenous practices and reshaping them through the lens of Roman ideology. The repercussions of this pervasive authority can be seen in later legal systems. Many modern societies still retain vestiges of these ancient structures, with paternal figures often holding primary responsibility for family welfare. The echoes of Roman authority also resonate in the power dynamics observed in contemporary family law and inheritance practices. The enduring legacy of this authority demonstrates a remarkable continuity of influence, linking ancient Rome with present-day familial governance. Social systems around the world still wrestle with the balance of power, often reflecting the foundational precepts laid down centuries ago. In this context, the father's shadow continues to loom large, shaping the intricate web of human relationships and societal norms. The father's authority manifests distinctly within various ancient cultures. In ancient Greece, a similar concept exists, known as patriarchy. Though the nuances differ markedly, here, the male figure retains significant influence over familial decisions, yet the societal structure allows for varying degrees of autonomy for women, especially in city-states like Sparta. This divergence highlights the adaptability of paternal authority amidst differing civic values. In contrast, among the ancient Egyptians, a notable duality exists. While fathers exercised control over their households, women in this culture enjoyed legal rights, enabling them to own property and initiate divorce. This relative balance provides a stark contrast to the rigid hierarchy of Patria Potestas, where the father's dominance remains largely unchallenged. The patriarchal structures observed in Mesopotamian civilizations also exhibit similarities. Kings and heads of households wielded absolute authority, yet societal roles were defined by function rather than solely by birthright. While male figures held considerable power, the interplay of social class and profession introduced complexities not present in Roman society. The examination of these diverse structures uncovers the multifaceted nature of authority and familial roles. Each culture reflects a distinct interpretation of paternal influence, revealing insights into the human experience and the evolution of family dynamics across time and geography. The authority embodied in Patria Potestas significantly shaped gender roles within ancient Roman society, establishing a framework that dictated the interactions and expectations of both men and women. This paternal power conferred a near-absolute dominion over the family structure, positioning the father as the primary decision-maker and protector. His influence extended to the lives of his children, with sons and daughters alike subjected to the dictates of his will. Within this context, masculinity was often tied to notions of strength, authority, and public duty. Sons were groomed to inherit not only the family name, but also the responsibilities that came with it, reinforcing their roles within the spheres of governance and military. The expectations placed upon them were steeped in tradition, compelling them to embody qualities that aligned with societal ideals of leadership and honor. Conversely, daughters were often relegated to a position of dependency, with their futures entwined with that of their fathers, and later, their husbands. Their value was frequently measured by their ability to uphold familial alliances through marriage. This dynamic imposed limitations on their autonomy, dictating their paths within the household and society. Patria Potestas thus served as a cornerstone for the construction of gender identities, creating a lineage that influenced behavior, authority, and social standing across generations. Fathers in Roman myths and legends frequently embody ideals of authority and virtue, shaping the cultural narrative surrounding paternal figures. These stories often illustrate the weight of expectation placed upon fathers as guardians of family honor and tradition. The legendary figure of Mars, the god of war, illustrates this archetype, representing not only strength but also the protective role that fathers held in the family unit. His son, Romulus, is portrayed as the founder of Rome, highlighting the integral connection between paternal lineage and the establishment of societal foundations. In the myth of Aeneas, the concept of duty emerges prominently. Aeneas's journey is not solely personal. It reflects the responsibilities he bears towards his father, Anchises, and his heritage. This narrative threads through the Roman psyche, emphasizing the notion that a father's legacy is not merely biological, but also a moral compass for future generations. The reverence for ancestral spirits also underscores this significance, suggesting that the influence of fathers extends beyond the mortal realm, shaping destinies through memory and reverence. These narratives collectively foster an understanding of fatherhood that transcends mere biological ties, embedding itself in the societal framework. They serve as a reminder of the enduring impact a father's shadow casts over the family, community, and the very identity of Rome itself. The evolution of family law reflects a gradual shift in societal structures and values. Patria Potestas, an ancient Roman principle, established absolute authority in the hands of the father. This system allowed patriarchs to exert control over their children and even their wives, shaping familial roles and responsibilities. These early laws were rooted in the notion of lineage and property, where the father's influence extended into governance and societal norms. As time progressed, the rigid confines of this authority began to soften. The introduction of legal reforms marked a transition towards recognizing individual rights. Influences from various philosophical schools challenged the traditional views, advocating for the rights of the child and the rights of women within the familial structure. Such transformations paved the way for a more equitable distribution of power within families. The shift gained momentum during the late Roman Empire, where emerging concepts of mutual consent began to redefine marriage and family dynamics. By embracing notions of partnership, the evolving legal framework reflected broader societal changes, acknowledging the need for balance and respect among family members. Modern family law now encompasses a complex web of rights and responsibilities, prioritizing the welfare of all individuals. This ongoing evolution underscores a departure from ancient practices, illustrating humanity's pursuit of justice and equality in the familial sphere. The influence of Patria Potestas extended beyond the confines of domestic life, permeating the realm of diplomacy and alliances. In ancient Rome, the authority wielded by the father figure held significant sway over familial allegiances and political negotiations. This form of authority was not merely a personal or familial matter. It served as a potent tool in shaping external relations. The bonds between families often dictated the terms of alliances, with powerful fathers negotiating marriages and pacts that would align their households with others of equal or greater status. Such arrangements were not only strategic, but also reflected the social hierarchy inherent in Roman society. The authority of the paterfamilias provided a framework for negotiations, enabling them to navigate complex social dynamics with precision. These figures represented their families in broader political contexts, their decisions echoing through the fabric of Roman governance. Each alliance solidified through this paternal authority contributed to the stability and expansion of Roman power. The implications of these relationships were profound. They forged connections that could either uplift or undermine states, revealing the delicate balance of power within the geopolitical landscape. Through Patria Potestas, of muster, the father's shadow loomed large over Rome's diplomatic endeavors, shaping the contours of alliances and the fateful decisions that would resonate through history. The cultural memory of Patria Potestas permeated later Roman literature, manifesting in a variety of texts that echo the authority and influence of the paternal figure. Epic poetry and historical narratives often featured paternal archetypes, reflecting societal values and expectations surrounding family dynamics. The portrayal of fathers in these works underscored their roles as both protectors and enforcers of familial duty, often serving as a reflection of broader societal norms. Veligas in literature were crafted with a keen awareness of their responsibilities, highlighting the weight of legacy that fathers carried. Such representations provided insight into the behaviors and decisions that were expected within the family hierarchy. The gravity of a father's authority resonated not only within households, but also extended into the public sphere, influencing legal and political frameworks. In prose and poetry, the nuances of paternal relationships were explored, revealing the complexities of love, obedience, and rebellion. Characters navigating their identities often found themselves in tension with their father's expectations, illustrating the struggles inherent in the familial bond. This dynamic, rooted in the principles of Patria Potestas, became a recurring theme, shedding light on the enduring impact of paternal authority. As later generations of writers engaged with these themes, they preserved the echoes of an ancient practice, ensuring that the legacy of patriarchal power remained relevant in the cultural consciousness of Rome. The relevance of Patria Potestas in contemporary discussions of authority manifests in various socio-cultural and legal frameworks. Modern debates surrounding governance, familial structures, and individual rights often draw comparisons to this ancient system of power. This historical foundation raises questions concerning the balance of authority and autonomy in current societies. In many cultures, the influence of paternal figures continues to shape dynamics within families and communities. This legacy prompts analysis of how authority figures interact with their subordinates, whether in familial settings or broader societal structures. Legal systems echo these principles, reflecting an enduring struggle between individual freedom and collective order. The concept also invites scrutiny regarding gender roles and the distribution of power. Discussions of patriarchy in contemporary contexts resonate with the historical precedents of Patria Potestas, highlighting ongoing challenges in achieving equality. Efforts to redefine authority often seek to unearth and challenge these entrenched patterns, questioning the legitimacy of power derived from lineage. Contemporary scholarship frequently revisits the implications of these ancient notions, emphasizing their profound influence on modern governance and social hierarchies. The dialogue surrounding authority remains vibrant as these ancient principles continue to inform and provoke debate, ensuring that the shadow of paternal influence persists in shaping our understanding of power today. The enduring legacy of Patria Potestas extends beyond the confines of ancient Rome, echoing through the corridors of history and permeating modern societies. This concept embedded the father as not merely a parent, but a figure of legal and social authority, wielding significant control over family and property. Such power fostered a structure wherein familial loyalty intertwined with civic duty, shaping societal norms and expectations. In contemporary discussions, remnants of this paternal power can be seen in various legal frameworks and cultural practices. It resonates in questions of guardianship and inheritance, where the influence of familial ties continues to play a crucial role in defining individual rights. This legacy can elicit both reverence and critique, prompting reflections on gender dynamics and the balance of power within familial structures. The examination of Patria Potestas allows for a deeper understanding of how authority has evolved, revealing the complexities of paternal influence in shaping identity and societal roles. Observing this evolution sheds light on the multifaceted nature of power, demonstrating its capacity to adapt while retaining core elements from the past. As the shadows of ancient principles stretch into the present day, they invite ongoing inquiry into the connections between authority, family, and societal structures, reminding us that history's influence is far from ephemeral. Emerging from the depths of historical analysis, new research opportunities present themselves in the study of Patria Potestas and family authority. Investigating the nuances of this ancient Roman institution can provide insights into contemporary familial relationships and power dynamics. Scholars are increasingly drawn to exploring how these enduring principles shape modern governance and social norms. The intersection of Patria Potestas with gender studies offers a fertile ground for inquiry, enabling a deeper understanding of patriarchal structures and their impact on both men and women throughout history. Unraveling the social fabric reveals intricate layers of authority, where the father's role is both central and contested. Exploring regional variations within ancient Rome can also illuminate how different cultures adapted or resisted these power dynamics. Further examination of legal texts and archaeological findings enables researchers to reconstruct the lived experiences of families under this system. These insights can be contextualized within broader discussions of state authority and individual rights, fostering a comprehensive perspective on the evolution of power. Additionally, interdisciplinary approaches that incorporate anthropology and sociology can enrich the conversation, bridging ancient practices with modern implications. By delving into the historical roots of family authority, this field of study continues to evolve, resonating with current societal transformations and encouraging critical reflections on authority today.